Tonight on the Chicago Show, justice on the brink. Federal funding cuts threaten an Illinois legal aid program.
Plus, campus meets city, what the Chicago mayor had to say about some of the top issues on students' minds.
And from pierogies to politics, how Chicago's Polish residents keep their culture strong.
All that and more tonight on the Chicago Show.
It's your Chicago news right now. Good evening and welcome to our special Chicago Show. I'm Ellie Skelly.
And I'm Logan Schijano. We'll have plenty of Chicago news for you in just a moment, but we begin tonight with some breaking news on campus. A demonstration in support of Palestine took place this afternoon in front of the Arch.
From the sea to the river, Palestine will live forever. Palestine will live forever.
Students for Justice in Palestine originally planned to hold a day of programming on the lawn outside of the dorm 1838 Chicago, but after SJP posted flyers promoting their event around campus last week, they say the university accused them of violating Northwestern's display and solicitation policy. That policy doesn't allow flyers to be posted outside other than in designated bulletin boards and kiosks around campus. The university told SJP their event was, quote, unauthorized and threatened to arrest students that failed to comply. Despite the warning, demonstrators arrived at the Arch just after 3 p.m., remaining on the sidewalk. Police lined the sidewalk in front of the 1838 Chicago lawn, which was also closed off with bike racks. NNN was on the scene for several hours this afternoon and did not see any arrests take place. We've reached out to the university and SJP for comment.
And moving on to tonight's top Chicago stories, a $55.2 billion state budget passed this weekend after Illinois lawmakers introduced the proposal just one day before the deadline, and includes over $1 billion in new revenue. This is a 3.9% spending increase from the current year. The bill includes new taxes on sports betting, tobacco products, and foreign and out-of-state incomes for businesses. Notably, the budget does not address the $770 million gap in funding for Chicago's public transit. And Republicans are criticizing the budget's late release time, which left little time for public review.
This morning, the Chicago Fire announced plans for a $650 million privately funded stadium in the South Loop. The 22,000-seat venue would go up at the 78, a vacant 62-acre parcel along the Chicago River. Owner Joe Mansueto says the stadium could open by spring 2028 and serve as a year-round community hub. While the project won't use taxpayer dollars for construction, city infrastructure support may still be required. The plan puts the Fire ahead of the White Sox, who also want to build on the site but need significant public funding.
Across town, another sports venue made headlines for a very different reason. Chicago police released photos of 4 teens wanted in connection with a shooting near Wrigley Field. A 26-year-old man was shot in the arm outside of Murphy's bleachers on May 15th after witnessing a fight between 2 groups. He was taken to Illinois Masonic in fair condition. The suspects fled on a Red Line train. Police are asking anyone with information to contact Area 3 detectives.
Further west, the city is making a temporary shelter permanent, sparking some local controversy. Alex Jong is here to explain the situation. Alex?
It looks like a Holiday Inn on the outside, but inside are hundreds of homeless migrants. Just weeks before the Democratic National Convention last July, Illinois turned this hotel in Cicero into a temporary migrant shelter with nearly 900 beds inside. It was set to close 2 days ago on June 1st, but instead of closing the shelter, the state now handed it off to the city, which is now making it a permanent shelter run by a nonprofit. This move happened with no public meeting, no city council votes. The extension never went through the zoning office and caught a lot of people off guard. 18th Ward Alderman Derek Curtis says he found out about the shelter extension after the fact. State representatives say they weren't briefed either, not to mention the Cicero residents. The once public hotel is now guarded, fenced off, and under heavy surveillance. When I tried to film from the sidewalk a few days ago, security guards confronted me even after I identified myself as a reporter.
You're on that sidewalk over there, you're allowed to be on that side of the sidewalk.
We have policies. You can't record, you can't take videos, pictures, anything like that of the facility. I don't know what the reason is, but all I can tell you is literally that's just our rules. I don't know who made them, I don't know why they're in place, but they're there, so I have to enforce them.
and then reached out to the mayor, the alderman, and state representative for comment. So far, none have responded. In a letter to the mayor, Alderman Curtis warned that the shelter could strain resources, hurt property values, and divide the community. The future of the shelter remains unclear, but the questions it raises about immigration and transparency will only get harder to ignore. Back to you.
All right, well, Alex, thank you for joining us.
President Donald Trump slashed $400 million for AmeriCorps funding this past April, leaving many service-oriented programs on the chopping block. NNN's Zoe Singer joins us now in the newsroom. Zoe, how exactly is this affecting our area?
Thanks, Logan. I asked that same question to representatives of the Illinois Justice Corps as they expressed their concerns with me. Take a look at what they had to say.
Illinois Justice Corps offers legal guidance to people representing themselves in court who often don't have access to a lawyer. After the Trump administration cut its federal funding, the program is at risk of shutting down.
The Justice Corps, while it was small, met a very specific need we had. They answered questions for something like 3,000 people a year.
Before the cuts, the Justice Corps included a group of 21 fellows who worked at courthouses across Illinois. Since 2020, they've helped courthouse officials manage the increasing number of people who are representing themselves in court and seeking legal support.
When I heard about it, I was upset about it because I'm like, they really do help us. We probably have the most self-represented litigants walking into these doors.
The person who was coming to Skokie would spend a busy day here. Even though that person hasn't been here, I still have people coming back looking for her.
While defendants in criminal cases are entitled to a lawyer, the same is not true for civil cases. Before its funding was cut, the Justice Corps helped with many divorce and eviction cases where defendants could not find or afford an attorney.
Because I feel like self-represented litigants need every little bit of help that they can get, I believe it's a major loss.
The Justice Corps is continuing its work through August. After that, the program's status remains in limbo.
There are currently multiple lawsuits against Trump / on AmeriCorps, and what the courts decide could determine the fate for hundreds, if not thousands, of organizations across the nation.
Thank you, Zoe. And other funding news, Chicago public transportation systems are nearly $1 billion short, setting up potential cuts for the CTA, Metra, and PACE next year. Saturday was the deadline for the Illinois State Legislature to approve its budget for next year, and the budget money doesn't include the money for these transportation systems that authorities say they desperately need. Instead, Chicago will continue to run these services with reduced services. NNN's Elena Peterson and Jeremy Fredericks are now here with more information on this. Jeremy, can you explain a little bit more about what these proposals entail?
Yes, so the Illinois budget was for $55 billion annually, and it doesn't include any funding for Chicago's public transportation systems. That includes Metro trains, PACE buses in the suburbs, and the CTA, which runs both the L Metro and city buses. CTA, Metro, and PACE are all operated by the Regional Transportation Authority, or RTA. Ellie?
Okay, that makes sense. Now, Lena, what actions within the state legislature led to these cuts?
Yeah, so the RTA says it's concerned about possible service cuts to the CTA, Metra, and PACE since state lawmakers didn't give them enough money. The RTA says it's short $770 million for its 2026 budget, and it wanted the state government to step in. Now there could be substantial cuts coming affecting weekend PACE buses, early morning and late night Metra trains, and the CTA system. RTA says that the CTA may have to, quote, close or drastically reduce service for 50 of its L stations and cut up to 58% of its 127 bus routes. Thousands of workers could lose their jobs across the transit systems as well.
You know, both of you, what impact will this have on CTA riders?
Well, according to the American Public Transportation Association, more than 1 million people are using public transportation every weekday in Chicago. And if the cuts happen, RTA says 500,000 people who rely on the CTA buses could be without public transportation. There will obviously be a major scramble for those folks who use the services. Lawmakers have also proposed replacing RTA with the Northern Illinois Transportation Authority. NITA would have established a universal fare system, created a transit police force, and dealt with building, upgraded, and maintaining the infrastructure for buses and trains to operate.
Okay, now moving towards campus, how much of an impact will these funding cuts have on Northwestern students?
So it remains to be seen how these cuts will affect commuters, especially Evanston residents and Northwestern students. But Evanston does have 7 CTA outstations along the Purple Line, 3 stations for Metro's UP North Line, and multiple PACE buses running throughout. Northwestern students and staff use these services to get to and from campus, the city, and O'Hare Airport.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you both for coming on and explaining this more for us.
Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson visited Scott Hall on campus last week for a conversation with campus community members. Our Victoria Ryan was there.
Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson speaking directly to students at an on-campus event last week.
My hope is, of course, is that the students and people in this room understand the assignment that Chicago has for the rest of the world, and that we don't flinch under pressure, we don't cower under pressure.
Hosted by various campus groups, the event featured a discussion with professors and a Q&A with student-submitted questions. Johnson discussed the city's current policies, from increasing mental health programs like CARE and expanding the Red Line, to an over $1.25 billion bond for affordable housing.
It is the largest public investment for housing and economic development in the history of Chicago.
Changes at the federal level dominating much of the conversation.
Chicago, like many cities across the country, we're being tested.
Both Johnson and Chicago face scrutiny from the Trump administration. Johnson testified to Congress in March defending Chicago's sanctuary city policies, which Trump and his allies have repeatedly attacked. The city also joined a coalition lawsuit in April, challenging the administration's mass firing of federal workers. A reception after, giving students the chance to speak directly with the mayor.
I really love the opportunities that this university has, like when public figures come, and I just wanted to hear what his perspective was, especially with all this stuff going on in the federal government and all.
An opportunity to see course concepts in action.
You got to understand theory, but it's important the implementation of policy, right? And how it actually affects people, and the challenges that it presents organizationally, structurally, leadership, etc.
Connecting Chicago to the classroom, Victoria Ryan, Northwestern News Network.
That was great, Victoria. Thank you so much. The event was hosted by various campus departments, including Medill, the Weinberg Political Science Department, and the Center for Diversity and Democracy. And coming up, what One Chicago Wellness Clinic is offering to support women struggling with infertility.
My relationship with Giannis is unique. We're from the same country, we're from the same city. Being a Northwestern alum, I think, has tremendous advantages in the sports industry. To me, that community, it's been with me for 20 plus years.
Ready, set, go!
Welcome back. The first American Pope was elected last month, and he's from Chicago. NNN's Paris Francois has more.
Behind me is the now closed St. Mary of the Assumption Church, where Pope Leo XIV grew up attending Mass. He's from Dalton, a town on the south end of Chicago. I got to speak with a family who came all the way from Lincoln Park to visit this church and ask them what it means to have a pope from their city.
It's a blessing to be able to be on the same city or state that the Pope grew up.
Pope Leo is the first American to be elected pope. After leaving Chicago, he began working as a missionary in Peru and held several leadership roles in the Roman Catholic Church. It's been less than a month since Pope Leo was elected.
So we're still learning what he's going to be doing. So yeah, it's very inspiring.
His message so far, peace.
La pace sia con tutti voi.
Catholics around the world waiting to see what messages and themes will define the Chicagoans' papacy. In Dalton, Paris Francois, Northwestern News Network.
Thank you, Paris. And don't worry, Dad, the Pope is a White Sox fan.
Chicago's beaches are officially open for the season. From Memorial Day to Labor Day, swimmers can enjoy over 20 different beaches along the city's shoreline, but there's a lot to keep in mind to keep yourself safe when swimming in the Great Lakes. NNN's Allison Miller joins us now from the lakefront to tell us more. Allison, what do beachgoers need to know?
That's right, Logan. Now, weather conditions change pretty rapidly here on Lake Michigan, and that's what makes swimming so dangerous. I spoke to a few officials at Leon Beach to learn a little bit more. Here's what they had to say.
We're going to count 1, 2, 3, all the way to where we need it to go.
Kwame Freeman has been a lifeguard for over 15 years. He says his first rescue taught him his biggest lesson.
How important it is what we do, and how important it is to obviously keep the public educated.
According to the Great Lakes Surf Rescue Project, 51 people drowned in Lake Michigan last year. That's over half of all the drownings in the Great Lakes in 2024. Across Chicago, first responders, city staff members, and Chicago Park District employees like Freeman are fighting to lower that number. The Park District installed these life rings at beaches across the lakefront after a teenager drowned in 2021.
All you do is pull down on that black tab, you open it on up, and then you'll see the ring buoy and the rope inside.
For one swimmer, the statistics are personal. He and his friends nearly drowned in Lake Michigan last year.
The waves were crashing over our heads, like the riptide was pulling us under, like none of us could go out. I actually had like a good second, I thought I was dead. I thought I died.
With water conditions changing by the minute, he says it's much easier to stay safe if you know where to look.
I just wish I knew to just check the weather app, look it up, before you go to the beach, that's all you need to do.
Chicago's Office of Emergency Management and Communications uses several platforms, including an app, to alert swimmers of dangers and give tips on how to stay safe.
I think the number one tip is knowing your limits and also really understanding those emergency warnings and alerts are there for a reason. So, if it's a red flag day on the beach, you really should not be going in the water.
OEMC and the Chicago Park District give the same advice. If you notice a struggling swimmer, you should first call for help to others on the beach, and then always call 911 before you act. The OEMC's green and white pole markers give beachgoers on the Chicago lakefront an easy point of reference for emergency calls.
In the event something bad happens, you don't quite know where you are, you can give that specific location over the phone to the 911 call taker and they'll get help to you right away.
Freeman says that while first responders and lifeguards are there to help, safety starts with each swimmer.
Be aware of the people that's swimming next to you. You never know what's going to happen.
In case you don't have a flotation device on hand, Freeman tells me that you can use anything that you have available to you to rescue a swimmer. That includes a beach towel or an umbrella. Back to you in the studio.
Hey Allison, looks like I'm going to have to invest in a flotation device before I hit the beach in a couple weeks. Thanks so much.
Infertility affects 1 in 6 people worldwide, and the pregnancy journey can feel isolating, emotional, and often invisible. But a holistic fertility center in Chicago aims to change that narrative. NNN's Kennedy French has the story.
Pulling Down the Moon started as a simple yoga class. Co-founder Tammy Quinn, who faced infertility herself, set out to create a place where women could feel supported through every step of the journey.
We want women to always remember that they're healthy, complete, and good enough just the way that they are.
What began with yoga now includes acupuncture, fertility-focused massages, and nutrition all under one roof. For many, it's not just about treatment, it's a space where emotions are welcome.
So it just gave me permission to finally, like an onion, just feel the pain and allow it to come out secretly behind the scenes when no one was watching.
For Veronica, that also meant letting go of a facade she'd held onto for years.
There's such a thing as toxic positivity, but I didn't realize how numb I was that I didn't even allow myself to build up to those emotions until she actually said that. And I realized this is real. What I'm going through is real.
That honesty, along with holistic care, helps patients find hope and healing.
Being a yoga for fertility teacher, I'm going to invest in myself and do all of the things and walk the talk that I'm preaching to my student. And lo and behold, it only took one retrieval, one transfer to have my son.
Beyond therapy, patients find strength in knowing they're not alone on this journey.
Community is our sacred sauce, not our special sauce, but our sacred sauce.
At Pulling Down the Moon, healing is a part of the process, even when it doesn't look complete.
You can look up in the night sky and you may see a crescent moon or you may see a half moon, but in reality, the moon is always full.
Kennedy French, Northwestern News Network.
Thank you, Kennedy, for that important reporting. Pulling Down the Moon has served Chicago families for over 2 decades and now offers virtual care and community through their Fully Fertile app. After the break, Chicago's ballet Folklorico wrapped up in costume difficulties.
Trying to work my way out of the prison system was the most difficult challenge of my life. It only became tangible once I became a Northwestern student.
One, two, three, four.
My relationship with Giannis is unique. We're from the same country, we're from the same city. Being a Northwestern alum, I think, has tremendous advantages in the sports industry. To me, that community, it's been with me for 20 plus years.
Welcome back. There's been a growing crisis at Chicago's Animal Care and Control where a wave of pet surrenders is pushing the city to its limits. NNN's Jasmine Kim has this story.
The situation is getting worse as more and more pets are being surrendered by the day. However, officials are saying that surrendering pets should be the last resort.
In May alone, the shelter took in an average of 56 animals per day, a significant increase from previous years.
So we're at the point where, aside from our brick and mortar cages, which we use, we're now putting like pop-up cages.
Chicago Animal Care and Control shared a post on Instagram showing the intake line from a couple weeks ago to raise awareness about limited resources due to the surge of pet surrenders. CACC's Public Information Officer shares, the reasons behind the surge include economic instability, rising costs of pet food and veterinary care, and housing challenges.
But then my landlord caught up to me having cats in the home, and he told me to either I have to get rid of them or I have to vacate.
Volunteers are working tirelessly to keep up with the sheer number of animals, but the overwhelming intake has forced the shelter to make tough decisions.
We have to kind of stop the intake, and some people get frustrated that they come back the next day, And we've been finding that there are some animals that get dumped or just left here or tied to a tree.
In partnership with Pause Chicago, the shelter is urging residents to consider alternatives before surrendering their pets. Officials encourage pet owners to reach out for assistance.
We're not a rescue, we're a municipal shelter. And I think there's just a lot of confusion that, oh, they'll take the animal, they'll find a home for me. And we will try our best to do that, but there's no guarantees when it comes to Chicago Animal Care and Control.
CACC will be holding an adoption event on Saturday, June 14th, where all adoption fees will be waived, but adoptions can be done here daily through walk-in. In Chicago, Jasmine Kim, Northwestern News Network.
Thanks, Jasmine. So sad. I hope they all find some homes real soon.
I know, me too, me too.
And speaking of which, if you're looking to adopt, visit the City of Chicago's website for more information.
Now, Polish culture has long been a part of Chicago. The first Polish immigrants came to the city back in the 1830s. But since then, Poles have weaved their way into Chicago's fabric through food, culture, and religion. NNN's Katarzyna Wynn has more.
Chicago once had one of the largest Polish populations outside of Poland, but not anymore. In the past few decades, journalists and academics have observed the scattering of the once central Polish community in Chicago.
Just because we do not have a Polish neighborhood of Polish stores, Polish bakeries, Polish churches, it doesn't mean that Polish community does not exist.
Since the 1950s, Polish people in Chicago have moved to the suburbs, leaving the old Polonia neighborhood behind. Poles may no longer occupy one particular area, but there are various Polish restaurants, delis, and cultural spots across the city, like Kasha's Deli in Ukrainian Village and Pierogi Kitchen in Wicker Park. Even Polish tourists to Chicago enjoy the Polish restaurants across the city.
Because I'm from Poland and I've been in United States for 2 years, so I was missing pierogi and Polish kitchens.
Churches are an important hub for the local Polish population, hosting more than just religious ceremonies.
On Saturday, Polish citizens living in the U.S. headed to the polls to cast their votes in Poland's presidential election. Here in Chicago, voting took place across several locations, including this Catholic church behind me.
One voter, Bożena Szczępka, has lived in the U.S. for 24 years. Still, she says it's important to vote in Polish elections and keep in touch with Polish culture.
I like being here in Chicago, and I'm very often to participate in the events of American culture. But Polish culture is still very close to my heart.
In the suburbs, where most Chicagoland Poles now live, they hold informal gatherings like picnics to continue connecting with others.
Polish people are here and they gather and they have the need to they manifest their identity. It's just that we do not live in a neighborhood anymore. We live in suburbs, and that's why we have to organize these events and make those spaces.
In Chicago, Katarzyna Wynn, Northwestern News Network.
Well, that's definitely very interesting. Thank you, Katarzyna.
Yeah, and Ellie, a Chicago dance group is facing an international shipping cost that may put their cultural identity at stake. NNN's Marcela Cano has more.
Summer is right around the corner, and that means it's performance season for ballet folklorico groups across Chicago. Costumes, or vestuarios, are the core of this dance form.
Vestuarios are important because they're our identity and they're what people see as representing Mexico and the regions they're from. People see the beauty in the vibrancy of the colors and all the accessories.
Guerra started Ballet Folklorico de Chicago in 2019, sourcing costumes directly from Mexico for authenticity and affordability. But now she says getting vestuario is difficult and expensive.
Now, not only with the tariffs impacting us, but also the increases in the prices that are passed along to us from the shippers.
Local vendors like Sarai Imports hope to fill this gap even as they feel the pressures too.
Claro que se les da el descuento de los tasas de los impuestos. Sí afecta, pero si ellos necesitan, lo tienen que llevar.
The group has also started training an in-house seamstress who may get hired full-time.
If you make your outfit and then you wear it, you see, what is possible with your two hands, and I think that is so empowering.
But the show goes on. With the help of Moreno, the group is ready for their busiest time of year. In Chicago, Marcela Cano, Northwestern News Network.
So much color, really beautiful to see. Ballet Folklorico's de Chicago's next performance will be on June 6th at the White Sox Mexican Heritage Night. And coming up, NNN hits the links. You can see these beautiful golfos right here. Well, guess what? Max Rothler and I went out there to play around. We're going to tell you who came on top after the break.
I'm Kelly McEvers, founding host of the NPR podcast Embedded.
I'm James Edwards, host of the Unresolved podcast from Frontline.
I'm Antonia Cereijido, former senior producer of Anything for Selena podcast and current executive producer at Elias Studios.
My narrative, since I've been locked up and kind of made my transition, has been like redemption, accountability.
When I come into the classroom environment, every individual that sits amongst me takes education seriously.
My relationship with Giannis is unique. We're from the same country, we're from the same city. Being a Northwestern alum, I think, has tremendous advantages in the sports industry. To me, that community, it's been with me for 20 plus years.
Welcome back. We'll have more Chicago news in just a moment, but first, an update on a major construction project underway here on campus. NNN's Maria Heim got exclusive access inside Deering Library for an up-close look at some of the renovations. She filed this report.
A landmark of Northwestern, Deering Library is an iconic building on campus. Students have missed this space as renovations began this past fall and are expected to wrap up by the start of next school year.
Maintaining Deering's iconic style and preserving its history has been the priority for the renovation project.
Because this is a historic building, we are approaching everything with a lot of care and consideration.
Claire Rockefort, the Director of Marketing and Communications at Northwestern Libraries, and the facilities team gave us an exclusive look inside of Deering. About 30 to 40 people work on the project daily to preserve its history.
This building was built at a time where Northwestern was really looking to establish itself as, a top-class university.
A modern update that students can look forward to? Built-in power boxes.
We know that we have to adapt with the times and bring more electricity in.
Finding an open seat might be a little easier, thanks to additional spaces in the Martin Reading Room.
We're adding about 40 seats to this space.
The basement restrooms are also being renovated.
Originally there were staff restrooms down here, but those are going to be for everybody, and there'll be 2 all-gender restrooms.
And upstairs, the new Richard C. Debreu Foundation Room, which used to be named Room 208, will now be used as a study and event space.
We started thinking about how to reuse this nice large room.
This exit is making it possible for us to have up to 150 people in here.
Around the corner, an elevator.
That was a really intense project that required putting a hole in 3 floors of concrete.
But the biggest transformation?
The light. We're doing a lot to improve the lighting in the building with restoring old light fixtures and using new technology of LED and programmable light fixtures to really bring light into the space.
New features, timeless charm. Maria Heim, Northwestern News Network.
Our thanks to Maria for that inside scoop.
Well, you know, outside things have also been changing, at least when it comes to the weather.
Logan, I've been rained on and sunburnt in the past 24 hours. I'm done. I need some insight. Thankfully, our chief meteorologist, Emmanuel Perez, is here for the scoop. Emmanuel, what's going on?
Yeah, so we've been experiencing some summer temperatures and these past couple of days, especially today that it's been humid. For the rest of the evening, we'll be at 77 degrees with cloudy temperatures and an increasing chance of showers and thunderstorms. For the rest of the evening, our temperatures will decrease as we do have a cold front coming through our area from the 80s into the 70s. Now, for tomorrow, we can locally, our temperatures remain around the same. It is 78 degrees in Evanston, 85 in Skokie, 85 at O'Hare Airport, 82 in downtown Chicago, and 85 at Midway Airport. For tomorrow, expect a soggy day. All throughout Chicagoland, expect 1 to 2 inches of rain. Starting off in the morning hours, our temperatures will be in the lower 70s with soaking conditions, and then by the end of the evening, we'll have partly cloudy skies with temperatures in the lower 60s. Looking ahead at our 7-day highs, temperatures will be fluctuating between the 60s and the 70s. Starting off on Wednesday, rainy conditions with temperatures at 71. Then a bit of a cool down for both Thursday and Friday, 66 degrees, partly cloudy skies. Then a perfect day to be outside, sunny skies on Saturday, 67 degrees, right in time for those beautiful high temperatures of 78 degrees on Sunday under those partly cloudy skies. Then on Monday, starting off that weekend, partly cloudy skies with temperatures at 71. And then for Tuesday, we dip down again into the 60s with 60 degrees with sunny conditions. Enjoy your summer and stay weather aware.
Thanks, Emmanuel. And as it continues to warm up outside, more folks are taking advantage of the great golf Chicago has to offer. That includes me and fellow NNN reporter Max Rothfeder, who traveled to South Shore Golf Course to put our skills to the test in the highly anticipated NNN match. Logan and Max on hand at South Shore Golf Course in beautiful Chicago. Max, we've got a 3-hole match play match on hand for everyone watching at home today. We're going to play holes 6, 7, and 8. If it's tied, we're going to go to 9. We've already warmed up on the first few holes. How are you feeling about this?
I'm really excited. We've been wanting to do this since freshman year. We both played golf in high school, loved the game, so really excited to finally put it to the test.
Yeah, can't wait to see whose skills fare better in this 3-hole match. Let's get it started. Good ball. Perfect. I pulled mine left with the driver. Could be blocked out. It's our first time playing this course, so honestly, I don't even know where mine is, but let's hope we find it. All right, we got like 160, but these trees are kind of in my way, so I'm just gonna play up the right side and get in position for a 3rd shot. It's fine. 75 yards. Sit. Sit. Stop.
Well, that could be good.
Wow, great shot.
About 5 feet for par there.
All right, Max hit a great shot. He's there in 3, I'm here in 3, so I basically got to get this up and down to have a chance.
Oh, really nice chip by Logan.
Go in. Go in.
All right, we got this putt right here to win the hole, otherwise it's a tie. Oh, just...
You're good.
On the underside of the hole, and that's a tie on hole number 1.
Look at how beautiful. We got Lake Michigan right behind us, and this tricky little 175-yard par 3 awaiting us ahead. Oh, that's good.
Right at it, might be a bit short.
No, this is a match.
I'm trying to be friendly here.
Run out, run out.
Oh, I caught it fat. Sit, sit, sit. Just got a little excited. Oh. All right. I won the hole. Go up one hole to play. Sit, sit, sit. That wasn't the best tee ball ever. Definitely gonna need a good second shot here. That looks good, running right up the fairway. Gonna leave us a nice little third chip shot. This is really unfortunate. This ended up here. It's about 80 yards, uphill lie with a lot of sand behind the ball. Just gotta hope for the best. That's all I'm gonna say about it. Okay, that was a horrible shot, and now I'm in an even worse place. Just gonna try to get it up on the right side of the green. Sit. Sit, and that'll be good. Just a bit long, but nothing to worry about. Sit. Hit it, hit it. Stop. Okay, you got a putt. Oh my gosh. Just a bit long, but nothing to worry about. Uh-oh. All right. This is for bogey. Is that good? Yeah. All right, I got to make this or else we tie the hole and the match is over. Go in. Oh. Good match. Hey, good match. A lot of fun. A lot of fun. All right, well, unfortunately, I went one down in that match, but my gosh, Logan, that was a lot of fun. So much fun. We got to do that again, on or off camera. For sure. We're definitely going to play more golf after graduation. All right, well, thanks so much for following along. Max, great match. Great match, Logan. So much fun. Not to brag, I did beat Max, so I guess this means it's time to take on you, Ellie?
Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know if I can play golf. But, you know, coming up, I could do news. Coming up, rainbow flags and a whole lot of love. How local businesses in Chicago's Boystown neighborhood are kicking off Pride Month.
My relationship with Giannis is unique. We're from the same country, we're from the same city. Being a Northwestern alum, I think, has tremendous advantages in the sports industry. To me, that community, it's been with me for 20 plus years.
Ready, set, piano.
Welcome back. June is Pride Month, and Chicago's North Halsted neighborhood, or Boystown, is alive with color, music, and community spirit. Local businesses are taking part in the celebration, and for many vendors, it's one of the most meaningful times of the year. NNN's Ananya Chugh dove into what they're looking forward to most.
Every June, Boystown becomes the heart of Pride in Chicago. For small businesses and local vendors, it's a season with more than just festivities. It brings opportunity, connection, and community.
Rights that people have conquered for years, and being able to be out and about, it means a lot, for me and to everybody in the community.
Stores and restaurants are decked out in rainbow colors, offering Pride-themed specials and hosting events that welcome locals and visitors alike.
So one of our DJs, DJ Brian, will be hosting, DJing at a stage, where we have also some of our drag performers there.
Many are also giving back, donating a portion of profits to LGBTQ+ organizations. As the city gears up for the Pride Parade and Street Festival, vendors say the economic impact is significant, but the support and visibility means even more.
As the country is starting to lose its safe spaces, I'm glad that we have a lot to offer.
From first-time visitors to longtime neighbors, Boystown is ready to welcome everyone with open arms and plenty of pride.
Just keep fighting, don't give up the fight, for the rights, for your right to party, your rights, LGBTQ+, and come and check us out.
Ananya Chugh, Northwestern News Network.
Thanks, Ananya. North Halsted will also be hosting Pride Fest from June 21st to the 22nd. Well, that just about wraps us up, Ellie. It's really hard to believe we both started NNN our freshman year, that this is our last show.
It's crazy, yes. It's Logan and I's final show. We've been doing it for the past 4 years. A lot of hard work, dedication. We have one of our biggest supporters sitting right next to us, Larry Struvenagle. It's great to have you here.
It's great to be here, and I remember when you were first-year students.
Yeah, Larry, we're going to get to you in just a moment, but first we just want to take one quick second to thank our technical advisor, Matt Schrock. You don't often see him here on camera, but there you can see him in the control room. He does an incredible job for all of us, and NNN would not be what it is without him. So we are so grateful for all of his work. But Larry, Professor Struvenagle.
No Matt, no show. Okay.
No Matt, no show. I totally agree. Totally agree.
Absolutely. Well, getting a little bit back to you, as we mentioned, it's been an incredible run for you at Northwestern and leading NNN through so much throughout the years. We are so grateful to have Professor Struvenagle, Larry, as you give us permission to call you. What has it meant over all these years to be in charge of NNN and see it through to what it is today?
It has been the best part of my Northwestern experience. It has been the greatest honor of my life to teach here and get to work with great people like you who are going to go on to fabulous careers, and not just in the news business. There are former NNNers who are college professors and lawyers, but this is a place where you all have done just such a fabulous job. When Ivan Myers, who is going to be your next advisor, he was the one when he was a student who brought me in here. So, but you are in great hands, but it's just, you do first-rate news, and all of you have the awards to show for it. And you've always been it's always been my philosophy that it's your show, because I trust you, because I get to work with the best. And so retiring is a little melancholy, but I am also going to get to spend more time with my wife and my family. But it has meant the world to me, to answer your question, to work with all of the students over the years. 18 of my 30 years here at Northwestern University, I've been trying to point everybody in the right direction, and you've always gone in the right direction.
Thank you, Larry. Well, we couldn't have done all this without you. We appreciate you so much. We have a surprise.
Larry, we have a little surprise for you.
Oh my goodness.
We have a card and we have a cake.
Oh my goodness.
Some of our faces on it. Thank you so much, Larry, for everything you've done. for the decades you've been here. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
We appreciate you, Larry. We really do. And, you know, I know all of us, Logan and I and everybody in the control room and sitting out there, we really, we appreciate you so much and are so grateful for the time and dedication.
Yeah.
It's a big gig. Don't enjoy it all by yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll share, but I definitely want to take a picture of this.
Definitely.
Yeah,
It's a journalist in you.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Well, that's going to do it for us here tonight. Thank you so much for following along all year. For Ellie Skelly, I'm Logan Schijano. Have a great night.